I've spent a lot of money on everything and anything to try and make me feel better. And if people say, oh, that's a lot of money, I said, you have no idea of how much money I've thrown down the drain trying to feel better. This has been a life changer for me. And if I feel this way, I can guarantee anybody else is going to feel the same way. You know what? You're worth it. You need to do it for yourself. And the thing is, I was running around with a 5-year old on the lawn the other day, over the weekend, and I'm like, I'm going to be sore tomorrow. Guess what? I wasn't sore. And I was just like, life changing. It's been a life changer for me. I get very emotional sometimes just thinking of how, how much healthier I feel. It's just done so much for me. I cannot. I don't ever want to feel so bad in my life ever again. And I would encourage anyone to do it because you know what? It's not a diet. I don't refer to it as a diet. This is my lifestyle change. I've needed it for so long. And I had to reach rock bottom and find the help. And I'm so fortunate that there was someone local that could help me. And she has supported me wonderfully.
Hello and welcome to Metabolic Balance Stories podcast. This is where we share real stories and insights to help you on your journey to optimal health with personalized nutrition and metabolic balance. I'm Cherry Wills, I'm your host, and today I'm delighted to welcome a lovely client from New Zealand. Ruth Neethling is from Kerry, and she has been working with her practitioner, Diana Burgess, for this past year. And a big welcome to you, Ruth. How lovely to have you with us.
Thanks, Cherry. Lovely to chat to you. I'm very excited to be able to share my story with other people.
That's so awesome. So let's start from the kind of, I don't know, not the very beginning, but what was your health like? What led you to even first discover about metabolic balance?
So I'm currently 59, turning 60 on the 2nd of January, which is a huge milestone. And over the past couple of years, I've had quite a lot of health issues. And I promised myself that I didn't want to go into my 60s feeling unwell and looking unwell and having more energy and just being in a general better space. So I was diagnosed, and I tend to think a misdiagnosis of having psoriatic arthritis about 3 years ago and was on a lot of cortisone. So I blew up like a balloon. Of course, didn't look my best at all, didn't feel my best at all. And I started off on 40 milligrams of cortisone. Yeah, just struggling with my body completely over the last 3 years. And the beginning of this year, I really hit rock bottom. I was feeling like total crap every day of my life. Um, Stressed out, mentally and emotionally exhausting after my mom passed away about a year and a half ago. And I wanted to find someone local that could help me and support me because I really needed some really good help. And I just knew I couldn't do it on my own. I was really fortunate. I walked into Hardy's, which is our local health store, and burst into tears when I was talking to one of the consultants there. And she looked at me and said, no, you need to go see Diane, book yourself an MB consultation. And that's where my MB journey started. And I basically came straight home, got on my computer. I booked a consultation, had to wait 2 weeks. And that was fine. I'm a florist. And so we were going into a very, very busy stage with Valentine's coming up. Hung on by my fingertips, getting through Valentine's, but actually crashed and burned straight after that. I walked in by my doctor, cried my eyes out. He's never seen me cry in 4 years. And I asked him to book me off for a week. Funny enough, that was the same day that I had to go get my program by Diane. So Diane saw me at my worst possible. I was a mess, absolutely a mess. And I got my program by her. I started my detox on the Tuesday. I got into bed and slept for 3 days. And I don't think a lot of people have that opportunity to do that, but I needed to do that.
You needed some recovery.
Yeah, yeah. I must admit, I can't remember a lot of my 3 days of the start of my metabolic balance program because I slept through it all. I got up, ate my vegetables, went to the bathroom, drank water, got back into bed, and repeated that. Yeah. But you know what was significant was the fact that when I woke up after those 3 days, I was a brand new person.
Really?
I was a brand new person. Like the lights switched on for me. All my anxiety I had no more anxiety. My heart rate came right down.
So the anxiety, was this an anxiety that you were worried about your health and now you felt that you were in control? Or was it a sort of unknown feeling of anxiety that you're talking about here?
You know what the funny part was? I didn't think I was an anxious person until I stopped feeling anxious.
Okay. Okay. So what would you say you were anxious about? Sorry, because I think this is quite important for people because I think anxiety sadly is such a common feeling for so many people in today's world. So what were you where can you talk a little bit more about that?
So I can be quite a high stress person. Always have been in all my years. I worry a lot about stuff. I always want to be perfect in my job. You know, it's very important to me to be 100% in whatever I do. And I'm pretty hard on myself when I don't achieve that, which is totally unrealistic. And my mom passed away about a year and a half ago and really went through some really bad times with two of my sisters behaving badly. And I think that all created so much more on my plate than what I needed to deal with at that time, with me feeling constantly unwell. And I just reached my peak where I could no longer. I was giving 150% at work, you know, working like a maniac because I would just be like up and down, up and down, up and down. You know, like a little tin soldier just on an overload of batteries. And something had to give eventually. And I think it all just happened all at the same time. So it's just like I keep saying to Diane, and I keep saying this to people that talk to me and say, "You look so well. You look brighter. Your eyes are brighter. Your skin is beautiful." I've always had good skin, but my skin is more beautiful. I go makeup free a lot of days. It's just like I've balanced out. I talk slower. My heart doesn't race constantly.
So you feel calmer.
Calmer, so much calmer. It's it's like I'm a brand new person. Really, really, that is the way I feel. It's like I've had a reset in my life.
Yeah, well, that is actually what we do say when you do, the metabolic balance is like a reset. We bring in the right foods for you. We bring in the routine that your body really needs, the structure, the water, the rest. I think, I by the sounds of it, you actually did really listen to what your body was telling you needed to do, and you needed that rest for the first few days. But I love the fact that you felt this rejuvenation quite so quickly. It's so fascinating what the human body does when it's given the right fuel, the really right fuel. And then it's like this is what nature does. We know this throughout the whole of the of the natural world. Give something the right resources, and it will literally blossom in front of your eyes.
And that's what I keep saying to people. I look at myself. We had Mother's Day come up after that. I was a lot calmer. I didn't stress about what I couldn't control, and I actually find it really funny because my colleague is the one now that's stressing, and I'm the one that's saying to her, "Don't stress about it. You can't do anything about it. It's not in our control." Everything that she used to say to me, it's like reversed roles.
Yeah, that is cool. Did you find how did you find that adjustment to the metabolic balance way of eating to what you were doing before?
So what I was doing before was actually not healthy eating at all. It's like we know what's right for us, but what we put in our mouth isn't always right for us. I wouldn't say we were huge takeaway eaters, but you do quick and easy. I love cream, typical South African, love potatoes, love meat. I was telling a friend of mine yesterday how we used to eat in South Africa. We had sugar over all our vegetables, basically. It would be sugar sweetened carrots, and it would be like a cup of sugar over your carrots with a blob of butter, and you simmer this until it's a thick, sticky syrup, and that would be glazed carrots with your hunk of meat and your roast potatoes and cauliflower with cheese sauce doused over it. That's the way I grew up. I came to New Zealand 20 years ago, and it's the first time I roasted vegetables with no sugar and butter and went, oh wow, pumpkin's actually sweet. Butternut's sweet on its own. You don't need all the extras. Still didn't really eat healthy and picked up around 20 kilos or 15 kilos over the past years. I was ready for a change, and I think that's a big thing too. I was tired of feeling sick. I was tired of feeling miserable. And I grabbed the opportunity with both hands. And I think the big thing was seeing the weight and the bloatedness, the water retention just dropping off instantly. Within the first 5 weeks, I'd lost around 8 kilos. How much better do you want to get? And instantly, my the people at work were going, "What are you doing?" You know, they could see an instant change. I didn't find it challenging. What I do find challenging was perhaps having that, potatoes and the rice with your little bit of curry and having to think differently about how to prepare my food. And then once I got into the whole routine of learning how to cook with less oils, like if I make a curry, I'd always start with onion. You braise your onion, you braise your meat, and then you do it. What I then done was because I could eat leek, I'll use my bit of ghee, fry up my leek, and then like yesterday's meal, I put in a grated courgette, half a tomato, use my mingle butter chicken spice, put my lamb in, and absolutely amazing. And I use now I do is now that I've gone through the earlier stages, I'll have half a cup of, or no, those little punnets of pre-cooked rice you get and you microwave it for 40 seconds? I'll have like half a punnet of brown rice with my curry.
Yeah. And I think I love when it's that openness to being adaptable as well. You had certain ways you always cooked, but you knew that those ways were actually not really serving your health. They may have tasted great at the moment they entered your mouth, but actually then it was causing issues. So we've got to look at things differently, but we don't compromise on taste and flavor either. As long as you have that, there's so many ways to cook a meal. Oh my God, there's hundreds of thousands of ways to cook different things and just have different techniques.
And that's one thing I had learned. And then I must be honest, I looked at the MB page and I look at what people are making themselves for meal, and I'm like, really? Do you want to get a little bit more creative? You can be so much more creative with that little piece of meat that you got.
But equally, different people have different ideas, don't they? And I think it's wonderful to see all the different ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. And you do pick up some great ideas and great tips. And you look at somebody else's thing and go, oh, well, I'll just do it like that and that and that. And then go ahead with it.
So for those people listening, what we're talking about here is we have a recipe community, Facebook recipe community, where you can have a look at what people are cooking, and you can share your own meals and get inspiration and tips and things like that. So you've already said, actually, you felt the changes really quickly. I mean, we are now, we're what, sort of 10, 11 months since you started? Would that be fair to say? Yeah, 10, 11 months. Have you noticed any further ongoing?
So I've lost in total 15 kilograms. So I've come down from 90 kilograms down to 75 and a half. So hovering about there. My goal weight, I put my goal weight as 72. I'm stuck on 75 and a half, but I haven't made it a huge deal. I don't want to overstress it, overthink it. Um, I went in for a checkup on Tuesday, a week ago, after not being weighed or anything done after 3 months. And I still had people going to me, have you lost weight? And I'm like, no, my scale hasn't said anything. My scale's still constant. And when I got to die and I did my weigh in, I'd lost 2 centimeters around my chest and a centimeter around my waist and a centimeter on my hips and a kg of internal fat.
So this was the extra centimeters from your last check-in with Diana. So how many centimeters? Can you remember how many centimeters you've lost in total from the beginning?
I didn't keep those notes. No, Diane's got that in total. But I've come down from 18 top down to a 14, so 2 dress sizes. You know what the great part is that I don't have the menopause belly. I've actually got a flat stomach, and I keep like feeling my stomach, and I'm like, oh, it feels so good to have a flat stomach, and clothes fit. And it's so nice going in. I know it's all dependent on the style and the fabric and whatever, but I put a 12 pants on and I go, oh, actually, I can wear a size 10 in that. And I'm like, yep, that fits better. And other big thing is my face was like this. I called it my cortisone face. It was just awful. So I think with my misdiagnosed arthritis is, I think what a lot of women also don't always check is your menopause. And I wasn't being treated for my menopause at all. And once I started using the estrogel as well, my body pains also started disappearing. I could bring my cortisone right down, and with the correct eating and my body healing and the inflammation coming down, it's made a huge change. So I do have food prepared. I'd always have salad in my fridge. I always have my carrots, whatever I can eat. I'm so happy about having avocado pear on my program, on my of the things that I can eat. I eat avos. I eat like an avo a day kind of thing.
Okay. We always like balance, remember, Ruth.
Yeah, yeah. So I do have, like, if I'm eating my egg and avo, then I have that. But then I'll have some avo with my salad and salmon for lunch, and my lettuce and my carrots and my sugar-free gherkin. And my salad dressing is my balsamic vinegar and my oil, flaxseed oil. So I just have that all ready to go. So for lunches, for work, I'm just like pulling out what I need, have my salmon, and lunch is sorted. It's not thinking about, oh, I don't have this for lunch or I don't have that for lunch. And then you go and buy something unhealthy or something quick and easy. So being prepared for all of that all the time. Yeah.
You said at the beginning that one of the strong drivers that you had was that you realized that you couldn't do this alone. You didn't feel that you could get yourself well by yourself. And I think this is an important point that I would love to talk just a little bit more about, because I think, or do you agree that there seems to be this really strong pressure that we're supposed to do it by ourselves, that you were supposed to do it by yourself, that you were supposed to research and you're supposed to get the motivation and get the understanding and work out the plan and get all the results, all while you were feeling really terrible. And the importance of having Diane to really support you and give you what you needed to do. She gave you the plan, but she was there guiding you every step of the way.
I am that kind of person where you got to say, this is the food you can eat. This is how you can eat it. Here's your proportion. And that helped me heaps. We all know we've got to have so many vegetables, so many that, and whatever. But I also think quite important is what helps you heal. It's like tomatoes aren't really on my plan, so I don't eat tomatoes. I may have it occasionally or once a week kind of thing, although I love it, you know. But having that support and die there to help me.
Yeah, to navigate it.
Yeah, you need that support. You can't do it on your own. And once you've found it and you find, oh, I've got this in me long term, because after 10 months, I don't go back to the old habits of oh, I'll just have a piece of cake for lunch, or I'll have a donut for lunch, or a roll with not enough protein on, you know, because I can feel immediately if I've had something to eat and my proportion of protein and my salad or whatever I'm having is not right, I get hungry, I want to get picky, and I want to snack on stuff that, yeah.
Yeah. And Di was there to help you understand that link, because the importance for me is always for 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 people to really get what they eat, how they eat, when they eat, how much they eat. Food causes a response in the body, and and when you kind of really start to be super intuitive about that, genuinely what the response truly is, not just where it's coming from if you are imbalanced, but actually what's happening and how to really bring it back into balance and be truly healthful for yourself in a personal way, then I think you've got the tools to navigate the future.
Yes, it is absolutely. And I, very shortly after I actually started the program, I went for 10 days to my daughter in Melbourne. And that in itself is a challenge when you just start the program. And I was in phase 2. I was allowed a treat meal a week, which still, yeah. And fortunately, my daughter eats healthy as well. And I didn't find it really difficult. If you go out, you just got to make the right choices. And I still lost a kilo in that week that I was away. So I was super chuffed that I could manage that. The one other thing that I really found on the program is that I don't have that vicious sweet tooth anymore, where I crave chocolate and I crave something sweet. I'm like, uh, you know, so if I do want something sweet, I'm now very particular about what I'm going to have. And I know it's like I'll go for the French petite kind of pâtissier dessert, the smaller, really good quality, the smaller, good quality chocolate than having a big chunk of whatever. And I don't crave it anymore.
And I think this is again, for people listening, just to recognize, cravings for sweet stuff, that actually the body doesn't need more sugar. It actually just needs more energy, and because you've actually gone into a blood sugar roller coaster ride. And so, actually changing that whole rhythm and bringing yourself truly into balance means that you can regain some genuine natural control and intuition about what you really do want.
Yeah. The other thing that I also really noticed that was quite huge for me was my sinuses. I've stopped taking antihistamines every day. I don't use a nasal spray every day. The first thing I said to Diane was, I can breathe. I can actually breathe. I go to bed and I can breathe at night. My snoring is heaps better. You know, when you snore and you wake yourself up, that's really bad. But it's just like, it's clear. I've got clear sinuses.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I put that down to the dairy and gluten free. You know, not that it made me unwell, but I noticed the difference in my body.
It's that reduction of inflammation. I think it's so important to recognize that our human bodies, they want to be well. We have got incredible physiology that actually over all of evolution, we have got the processes that do keep us well. But this imbalance comes in and leads to all different symptoms. And it's not about curing, I think. It's about just bringing that balance back so that we don't suffer and you're not suffering anymore.
I cannot begin. You know, it's like I keep saying to Di when I go there, or I say to my colleague when we sit down and we have a coffee and whatever. It's just like, I still can't believe how different I feel to what I felt like at the end of February.
Yeah. Because we're in December now. We should just point that out to people listening. We are in December right now.
Yeah. And I still feel like what I felt in the beginning when I started feeling better, I actually feel better than then.
Yeah. So you get the resilience is coming back. Just finally, what would you say? Is there any particular advice that you would give to somebody who is listening now and they're sort of thinking, should I, embark on metabolic balance and get myself a metabolic balance plan and work with a practitioner?
I would definitely encourage anyone to definitely do it. I've spent a lot of money on everything and anything to try and make me feel better. And if people say, oh, that's a lot of money, I said, you have no idea of how much money I've thrown down the drain trying to feel better. This has been a life changer for me. And if I feel this way, I can guarantee anybody else is going to feel the same way. You know what? You worth it. You need to do it for yourself. And the thing is, I was running around with a 5-year-old on the lawn the other day, over the weekend, and I'm like, I'm going to be sore tomorrow. Guess what? I wasn't sore. And I was just like, life changing. It's been a life changer for me. I get very emotional sometimes just thinking of how much healthier I feel. It's just done so much for me. I cannot. I don't ever want to feel so bad in my life ever again. I'm so sorry. It's just, I used to be so miserable, so miserable. I used to be, take it out on my colleagues, take it out on my family. And all I want to do is apologize to them now, all the time.
Oh, Ruth. Oh, Ruth. They're they're probably absolutely thrilled to see you now feeling good and just feeling like your real self. I think it's, ill health almost robs us of our real selves because we're hurting. And so it's so hard to be the real you when you're in that pain. And then when you take that pain away, bring the balance back, the real you comes back and you can be the real you again.
And I haven't been the real me for many years. And I would encourage anyone to do it because you know what? It's not a diet. I don't refer to it as a diet. this is my lifestyle change. I've needed it for so long. And I had to reach rock bottom and find the help. And I'm so fortunate that there was someone local that could help me. And she has supported me wonderfully.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing, Ruth. It's so delighted, and I'm privileged that you shared your story with us today. I think it will resonate with so many people. You're about to go into your 60s now. Exciting. You'll be, 60 in a few weeks' time.
Yeah. I brag. I don't even say I'm 59. I'm like, I'm turning 60. They're like, when? I'm like, next year. They're like, no, impossible. Impossible. You can't be 60. I'm like, yep, I'm 60. I've got a 41-year-old daughter. I've got a 39-year-old son and a 27-year-old. I'm so proud of them. I was a young mum. Life wasn't easy. But yeah, but I'm going in healthy, and that was my goal.
Yes. Yeah. And you found what you needed to do. You did it. And this is now you have and again it's that what you now do for the rest of your life. It's not about staying super strict, nothing to do with that. It's actually just when you need to rebalance your focus, when you go to a restaurant, you just relax, but you choose right. And you enjoy life, and then you run around on the lawn with your 5-year-old. Is it your 5-year-old grandson?
It's a great nephew. Yeah. But you know what the thing is, and I think that's the thing is when I eat something now, I can feel immediately if it doesn't agree with me. And I'm like, okay, I'm not doing that again. That's not, and so I can make those choices because I know what the difference is. I know what the difference is between what's making me feel good and what's making me feel unwell, or I eat it and it doesn't agree with me. I can feel the difference instantly. And I think that's what the program has taught me as well. Taught me, sorry, it's listening to my body and be able to distinguish between that.
Yeah. Wonderful. I'm so excited for what your future holds for you, and how you're going to have so much fun. So your 60s, 70s, 80s, who knows where you're going to be. It's wonderful.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to share my story. And I hope it encourages a lot of people. Mm. Thank you, Cherry.
It's the real stories. That's what it's about. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you so much for sharing. And if anybody would like to find out more about metabolic balance, please go to the website, metabolicbalance.com. You can find your practitioner locally to you. And also do remember a lot of practitioners also work online as well. There are more details about Diana's practice in the show notes, and also the link to the website is in the show notes too. So, thank you again to Ruth, and please do join me again for more episodes of the Metabolic Balance Stories.